And today I am doing a chaos deck profile based on the Autodeity archetype. So yes, let us begin. We play the new flag Infinity the Chaos. It has the stats of 10,000 power, 3 critical, and 10,000 defense. Like the original Chaos flag, you may use Chaos cards. However, you can call monsters up to the total size of Infinity. All size 30 or greater monsters on your field cannot be destroyed, and their abilities cannot be nullified by effects. This card is treated as a card on your field. It cannot be destroyed, leave the flag area, and its abilities cannot be nullified. And it can attack even if you have monsters on your center. And at the beginning of your game, you just put it face down like this. So yes, the buddy we play is Autodeity Dragon, Chaos Butts. 10,000 power, 2 crit, and 7,000 defense. Pay 2 gauge at the call cost. During your turn, this card on the field cannot be destroyed. It has the ability to pay 1 life, search your deck for up to 1 Autodeity monster from your hand or your deck and call it to the field separate area without paying its call cost. If you search your deck, you shuffle it. You can only use the ability once per turn. And it has double attack. So yes, it's a very powerful card as you can add more allies to your field. So now we move on to the main deck. We play 1 copy of Ultimate Chaos Gear God version 1 complete. Call cost is to put a monster with Gear God on your field into the drop zone. It has the Chaos Drain ability, which is to destroy a monster on your field to prevent it from leaving the field. It has Overkill Reboot. Discard a card from your hand during your main phase. Call up to 3 monsters without paying their call cost from the drop zone. If you have 3 life or less, your life becomes 10. So yes, very powerful card. It has 100,000 power, 4 criticals, and 10,000 defense. And it has Chaos Territory. So yes, it's very good for changing your situation. Then we run, for the remaining Gear Gods, we run 4 copies of Genome Upgrader, Gear God version 1000. Its call cost is put the top card of your deck to your soul and pay 3 gauge. Has 70,000 power, 3 critical, and 7,000 defense. At the beginning of your attack phase, call up to 1 chaos monster from your drop zone by paying its call cost. Its overkill is discard a card from your hand during your main phase. You keep up to 1 chaos item without paying its equip cost, and call up to 1 chaos monster without paying its call cost from your deck, and shuffle your deck. It has Chaos Territory and Soul Guard. So you can search out for your item, and I'll get into the item later. It's a very powerful card. We run 1 copy of Proto Chaos Machina, Gear God version 8. Its call cost is pay 2 gauge when a monster on your center is destroyed. 50,000 power, 2 criticals, and 6,000 defense. This card enters the field on your opponent's turn. Call up to 1 chaos monster from your drop zone without paying its call cost. Size 3. Chaos monster. It has Chaos Drain, Chaos Territory, and Penetrate. So very good for defense. Then to the size 3, we run 4 copies of Autodeity Dragon Chaos Butts, since it's our buddy. We run 2 copies of Autodeity Conquer Dragon Chaos Gear Butts. It's a new card from the set. Pay 1 gauge as the call cost. 825, 8,000 power, 2 crit, and 5,000 defense. On your turn, it cannot be destroyed. When this card attacks, stand a card on your field, and that card gets critical +1 for this turn. It's a once per turn skill. So you can have it called up by Butts, and you can restand one of your other units to attack 1 more time with increased critical. So very powerful. Then we play 1 copy of Cavalry Dragon Mech Chaos Kego Bide. Its call cost is put a monster from your field into the soul and pay 2 gauge. It has 7,000 power, 2 critical, and 7,000 defense. When this card enters the field, if you have another Autodeity army on your field, you can put a soul from a card on your opponent's field to the drop zone and deal them 1 damage. If this card has soul, it gets critical +1 and penetrate. And he has double attack and soul guard. Very strong. Next, we have 2 copies of All-Purpose Mech Chaos Tetra. When your opponent card attack, chain the target of the attacks to this monster, so they must attack this to get through. If you have another Autodeity army on your field, this card gets power plus 4,000 power and 4,000 defense. It has 5,000 power, 2 critical, and 5,000 defense, so it becomes 9,000. Very strong for protecting you and your butts if they attack it. Next, we run Replenisher Mech Chaos Penta. When this card enters the field, if you have another Autodeity army on your field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge, you gain 1 life and draw a card. You can only use this skill once per turn. It has 5,000 power, 2 crit, and 3,000 defense. It is very good as you can search this out by buts and gain more gauge and more hand size without losing too much from your hand. Next up, we play Chaos Death Telica, 1 copy. 10,000 power, 2 crit, and 3,000 defense. Pay 3 gauge for the core cost. When this card will leave the field, you may put a total of 3 monsters or deep from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you do, this card remains on the field, and it has double attack. Very powerful as it can prevent you from decking out too fast. It's very viable. So 1 copy. Next, we run 3 copies of Chaos Devil Berg. When this card enters the field, look at 3 cards on the top of your deck, put up to 1 among them into your hand, and put the rest into the drop zone. Very good as you can just add a free card and fill up your drop zone for a later effect. And recall monsters if you want. Next, we run 3 copies of Chaos Climbs. When this card enters the field, you put 2 monsters and a spell from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you do, put the top card of your deck to your gauge, gain 1 life, and draw a card. It's a once per turn skill, when you can basically prevent yourself from decking out fast, and you can gain more hand and life engage. Then we run 2 cards on the new set, Full Mac Crystal Dragon, Zindo Beta. When this card enters the field, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, put up to 1 chaos spell from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. Breaking Birth only activates once per turn. It has 5,000 power and defense and 2 crit. You can search your deck for any of the chaos spells, which I will get into later. Then we run 1 copy of Chaos Aquarius. When this card enters the field, put the number of cards from the top of your deck into your gauge equal to the number of monsters other than this card on the field. So you can, let's say you call this last, after you have 3 monsters on the field, you charge 3 gauge. It's very good for gauge popping. Then finally we run 1 copy of Chaos Osiris. When this card enters the field on the left or right, if you have a monster in your center, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and draw 1 card. So you can increase your hand size and excel, so it's really good. Now moving on to the spells. Play 3 copies of Machining Sacrifice. You may only cast this card during your opponent's turn. The cast cost is to put a monster from your field into the drop zone. Then counter, call a size 3 or greater monster from your drop zone by paying its call cost. So if your monster would die, you can use this to remove it from the field and call another one in exchange. Very powerful. So 3 copies. Then we run 3 copies of Population Reduction. Cast cost is put a size 3 or greater monster from your field into the drop zone and pay 1 life. Counter, draw 2 cards, so it's very good as you can remove monsters that you've already used their effects and gain more hand size. Next we run 2 Chaos Millennium. Put up to 1 Chaos monster from your drop zone into your hand. Then if you have 2 or more Chaos monsters on your field, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge, and if you 3 or more, you gain 2 life. So you can gain 3 effects for the price of 1 card. Very good. Then we have 2 copies of Chaos Gear. A new card from the set. Draw cards equal to the number of monsters on your field, then discard a card from your hand. Very powerful as you can normally call up to 4 monsters on your field. So you can draw cards very efficiently. So yes, very good card. Then we run 2 copies of a Ruler's Privilege. You may cast this card if you have 3 or more originally sized 3 or greater monsters on your field. Choose and use one of the following 2. Put a card other than this card from your drop zone into your hand, or counter, withstand a size 3 or greater monster on your field for 1 more attack. You can either flashback any of these amazing cards, or you can withstand your monsters to finish the game. Then we run 2 copies of the new spell, the Chaos Upgrade. You may cast this card if your initial flag is the Chaos. If you have 10 or more cards in your drop zone, put up to 1 face down card underneath your flag, face up or top of your flag. Put up to 1 card with Gear God in its card name from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. So you can search out for your Gear God complete to evolve on your Gear God. They are currently on the field. Then we run 2 copies of Parasite Yig Dresser. All size 3 monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. And when this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, put up to 1 monster from your drop zone into your hand. It's set spell. So they cannot destroy your monsters by effect, and if they do destroy the spell, you gain a benefit. So very good. We run 1 copy of Launch the Autodeity. You put up to 1 size 30 or greater monster from your deck into your hand and then shuffle your deck. You may only cast this 1 per turn. It's very good as you can search out your Gear God 1000 and our Gear God 8, so very powerful. Then we run the last spell, Sunken Seabed Ruins. The set spell, during your main phase, you may pay 1 life and cast this card from your drop zone and set it if you size 3 or greater monsters enter the field this turn on your main phase. 3 or greater damage dealt to you when monster effects are reduced to 0. And when a monster on your field attacks, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. This ability only activates once per turn. So let's say they would deal you damage by penetrate. If it's 3 or greater, you don't receive any damage, so it can really save you. Next, for items, we run 2 copies of Autodeity Sword Chaos Drago Royale. Its equip cost is pay 1 life. It has 3000 power and 1 critical. This card can attack even if you have monsters on your center. When an Autodeity army monster enters the field, draw a card. So yes, it's a once per turn ability. So when your Chaos Buds summon out something, you can draw a card in exchange. So very powerful. Lastly, we have the impact. Deity Lance Chaos X Tempest Buster. You may only cast this card if your opponent has 5 life or less, they do not have monsters on their center, and your cards have attacked 4 times or more this turn. Pay 3 gauge, deal 5 damage to your opponent. This card cannot be nullified, the damage cannot be reduced. If your opponent's life will become 0 by this card, they cannot resurrect. Basically, their life cannot be changed. So yes, this is your finisher. So by the way, a piece of advice. Let's say you should summon out your Chaos Flag. You can also have your item at the same time, so the item does remain on the field. Just to let you know. So that about does it for my Chaos deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it.